Mark Vivian Foe, that hit me.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Exactly. He's to play for Man City, I think, in Middlesbrough.
What happened to him?
We're at Fibes L30 and we've decided to set ourselves a little challenge. Alfie seems very complimentary. I'm liking what he's doing here.
What are you expecting, Alfie?
Not much. Gary's fucked it, they're all stuck.
Have you actually stuck?
Yeah.
That is a fucking phenomenal sirloin.
I'm really big fan.
Whoever's 3 courses has got the lowest combined score. You've got to take all of the food that's left, blend it all together and drink it. Too much spaghetti. That's terrible. I've had them here.
The lovely blend of all the foods combined from the plate dishes.
Hello and welcome back to the What's Happening podcast. This is episode 63. Thank you very much for joining us. We haven't got a guest this week, but
Just
not
chatting
worry
shit,
about it.
innit?
It's us 3.
Just chatting shit.
You know us by now.
Yes.
If you don't know me by now.
Oh, rest in peace, Tina Turner, man.
Tina.
Tina Turner. Tina Turner, man. Rest in peace, lad.
Rest in. I know, I can't believe Tina Turner's dead.
I thought you was already dead.
2 legends in 1 week though, Tina Turner and Rolf Harris.
I know. How she survived, like, turning battering all the time, I don't know, lad.
Who's the one who died in the bath, lads? Who bangs her head?
Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get confused between the pair.
I love her song, The Body Bag though.
The bodyguard.
Yeah, Tina Turner's.
Do you know what's funny though? Do you know what's funny though? Right, me ma's the proper Grim Reaper. Like, me ma loves death. It's mad. Like, me ma will bell me.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, she.
Anyone who doesn't know is
Did over husband to it?
It was made
hung himself.
It was made of suicide. He didn't kill himself. Me ma strung him. It's heavy. So yeah, so fucking. Me ma had a, like. This is a true story, right? I was coming home from work one day, my ma bells me about 4 times, couldn't be asked answering the phone. Fucking, she wants something, yes, so I answered it. And she answered the phone, she's like, Gary, oh my God, you never guess who's dead, lad? And I was like, oh shit, is my brother dead? Is my nan died? What's going on? My ma's in tears. I went, Mum, what? Calm down, Mum. Who's dead? She was like, do you remember Gladys, the dinner lady from your primary school? I went, put the phone down.
Why are you crying?
I'm 27 now, right? I was in primary school with Gladys, an infant, when I was fucking 6. She was nearly dead in primary school. I'm surprised she's lasted this long.
Was there ever a celebrity that you cried over?
Steve Irwin broke my heart.
I know that.
I'm not messing. I had to take two or 3 days off school.
What
Steve
about-
Irwin died.
what
I was
about-
distraught.
What about you, Gary? Was there ever anyone, like a celebrity, like a public figure, where you was like, fuck? Mine was Michael Jackson, you know. I remember my ma coming in and telling me, no, I never cried, but I was gutted, you know.
You got
gutted,
fiddled by him, that's why he's fuming.
Listen, Michael Jackson's a legend, lad. If I got filmed by him, I wouldn't be telling it in a negative light. It'd be a positive light, lad.
I'd be lucky.
Who better to be molested by than the man who made Thriller? You know what I mean?
Was there ever anyone that you was like, oh shit?
I
I know yours is Steve Irwin, but like, was there anyone for you, Gary, or nah?
Do you know what? Weirdly, right, like, I don't know, I get emotional over loads of things, right, but there's a couple that have hit me a little bit, but not like massive celebrities, like when the owner of Leicester died in the helicopter crash.
Shut up.
that did make me a bit sad.
Yeah, I was a bit emotional.
Did you see the video for that?
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was a heavy video.
There was a video?
Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
No?
There's
pure
got to
crashing,
be
heavy,
a conspiracy somewhere about people dying in helicopters, right? Because it was Kobe Bryant in a helicopter, the owner of Leicester in a helicopter,
yeah.
Colin McRae, a fucking rally driver who fucking drove his car at 140
remember
mile
him?
an hour around corners, helicopter crash.
That one got me when I was a kid, Colin McRae, 'cause I had the game on the PS2. I had Colin McRae Rally 3, me and my dad used to play it
I'm
all the
not
time.
on me.
What about that?
Was he a rally driver?
Yeah.
Was
Had
he?
the Subaru Impreza, the blue one.
Had gold
Hey.
wheels, heavy.
What about that Emiliano Salado, who fucking Cardiff bought and
Nah, he
his
wasn't
plane
after
crashed
that,
and went
innit?
under the sea? Remember that though?
It
That was the mafia, wasn't it?
Who was the other
He
one?
was shit on FIFA.
Who was the other one? Who was the other one?
He never got refunded for that either, however he's done.
No.
It was there another one who crashed in a plane crash, or was it just him?
I think it was just him, you know, the footy player.
What was his name?
Emiliano
Sala, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
so
no,
they bought him and he went under the sea.
Do you ever remember Fabrice Muamba?
Oh, when he had the
Remember
eyes
he
back
died
on
on the pitch?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Christian Eriksen, mate, he didn't die, obviously, he's still playing. But when he had that heart attack, lad, I was
It was
dead
heavy,
emotional,
that,
you know,
yeah. Remember
It was
that? It was
scuzzy, like.
heavy.
It was
Remember
weird.
Fabrice Muamba? Don't doubt, it was one of the
Yeah.
first
You just
ones
did the
that,
tap
like...
on the pitch,
Yeah,
And there was
yeah.
a doctor in the crowd, wasn't it?
It was like another Christian Eriksen, man.
Mark Vivian Foe, that hit me.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Exactly. He used to play for Man City, I think, in Middlesbrough.
What happened to him,
He
lad?
fucking died, didn't he?
On the
I
pitch?
don't know, fucking, I just remember his name and he died, so I just thought
Oh,
I'd
I
say it.
remember George Best, lad.
I'm trying to think, was there any other celebrity death that proper got to you? If
You
you've got any celebrity death that affected you as a
Yeah.
child, or
Do you
even
know-
as a young
get in-
adult,
get
just
in
comment
touch.
down below.
There's probably one that I'm massively missing, you know.
I feel
let me have a
like
little look.
Who?
Let me have a look.
Prince?
That was
No,
everyone.
I feel like there is.
Oh, I thought you said Prince.
David Bowie.
Nah,
I wasn't asked when he died,
no.
mate.
Like, I'm not even to all you David Bowie fans out there, but I just weren't a big fan of him. It was just like one of them, isn't it?
Like, I'd never turn
Ah.
David Bowie off, but I wouldn't be like, oh, like, get some Bowie on.
yeah.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Let me
100%.
Google it, because there's got to be someone that fucking hit me hard, and I can't even remember. Apart from my dad.
Maybe Amy
Hit me
Winehouse,
hard.
maybe she snuffed it. That was heavy.
Maybe
Who?
she should have went to rehab.
Trying to make
She
me go
said
to rehab.
no.
You'll have to excuse Bobby. He's had a few drinky poos this afternoon.
I've had a few
Ooh.
pints.
Heath Ledger, did I hit anyone?
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
not at the time.
do you know what hit me? And I'm gonna sound dead fucking gay, yeah? Mac Miller.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we're
because
not.
right, do you know what, right? Years ago, I was never asked about Mac Miller, and then I started to fuck with him. I was like, yeah, I'm a bit of Mac, yeah. And then when
I'm a bit of Mac.
I'm a bit of mac and cheese on my titties. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm a bit of Mac, yeah. And then like he kicked it, and I was gutted. But then the best album he's ever produced was when he was dead. It was sick.
How's that weird?
I think they've recorded
He's
before.
recording Mama Luigi
Yeah.
board, lads.
I read the list. I read the list.
These hoes.
I'll read the list of some of the biggest celebrity deaths, right, and see if they've affected you.
Go on,
Okay?
Go on.
Heath Ledger.
I mean, it did.
It didn't affect me
yeah.
at the time because I was a bit too young to really get it. But then, you know, as I got older,
When Jared Leto was like the new Joker, it was like...
as I got older and I realised how good of an actor Heath Ledger was,
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
You'd appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
appreciate it more. Yeah, so not at the time, but yeah, I agree with him a little bit more after, yeah.
All right, Naya Rivera. She was an ex-Glee star. She was out on like a canoe or something with a kid, and she went missing and died. Not asked by your faces, obviously.
Don't even know what that
Didn't
is.
even know
Sorry.
it was.
Taylor Hawkins,
Who's
drummer
that?
of Foo Fighters. No.
From what?
From the
The
Foo
drummer
Fighters.
from the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
Sound.
man. Dave
Um,
Grohl? No.
Bob,
Dave Grohl.
I don't know, yeah. Sorry.
Bob Saget or Sagat or something.
Oh, he was a comedian, man.
Bob
he?
Saget.
That's the one. Yeah.
He was a comedian, wasn't he?
I think, I don't know.
This one hit people. Chadwick Boseman,
Who's-
Black Panther.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
hit me, but I got it.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got it.
Meatloaf.
I wasn't.
Like a
really.
bat out of hell, I'll be coming till the morning come. Yeah. I cried for weeks.
All I think of is Meatloaf is fucking, was it The Wedding Crasher or whatever, or The Wedding Who else is there? Paul Walker.
Do you know what? I was saying this.
Do you know what, right? If they stopped making the movie, I'd be sad. But you just released like number 12 or something.
Yeah.
No,
And
no,
it's
number 10.
Is it 10? Sound, whatever. But it's turned into like fucking, we're on the CIA, and it's like
Yeah.
a mad Mission Impossible movie.
There was a bit in it where is it Woody Harrelson? It's not Woody Harrelson who's in it.
Fucking Vin Diesel.
No, but there's somebody else. There's somebody
Bogan
else,
of
as
it.
well. And like they both
Ludacris.
had it. They both had it written into the contract. I think with the Fast and Furious franchise that their characters can't die.
Really, yeah.
And so there's literally a scene in it where they completely separated from reality
Good that
altogether.
Paul didn't make that contract.
No, he really should have done.
You're not like
He really
that.
should have done. Fucking-
Have you seen the clip from it where it was unscripted? Where The Rock just says something. to
Oh,
the black
bad as
fella.
shiny head or something, yeah.
So he
yeah.
goes, he said when he's walking up the drive and he says, and he goes, look at that big fat bally head. or
Yeah,
something like that.
There's a bit in it with Vin Diesel. I don't know which one of them it's from. But Vin Diesel stamps that hard on the floor. He collapses like a bridge or something.
What? So off him
He goes, boo, and then someone falls onto the bottom of a car, and the road collapses through, and he goes through.
I thought you meant Vin Diesel was stamping on the ground and knocking himself out.
No, like he broke the floor. And there's a
It's a bit
scene.
far. I know it's a movie, but come on.
Like
Yeah,
there's
I know,
a scene
yeah.
in one of the newer ones where again Vin Diesel Obviously.
From the
You know what I
pacifier.
mean?
Yeah.
What a movie that is.
But still only Vin Diesel drives a car off the edge of a mountain and he like catches it's like a big harpoon thing on a metal wire, sticks it through the car, swings around off the edge of the cliff and back onto the other side. And it's like, what?
Yeah,
Lads, I can do that, lads.
Yeah, because gravity's going to take your car before the harpoons come anyway.
Yeah, alright then. In terms of like people who you gutted over dying,
Would you wish it died but hasn't yet?
All
No,
right.
is that the way you were going?
well, you know,
Go on.
I wish Ralph Farris was still alive. Nah.
Can you guess what it is yet?
Two little
boys had
to rich
bubbles. So,
That's the noise all the arseholes used to make with his jizz coming out of it.
if there's anyone that you'd want to see
Dead.
dead, but was in like a singer or like in a band, whatever,
Matt
who
Healy,
would you want to see?
1975.
Who would I like to see die?
Matt Healy's still alive, isn't he?
You said you want to see them dead?
No.
Oh.
no. If they were dead and you wanted to see them like perform, no one alive.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like Michael Jackson.
He's the greatest performer of all time.
Lad,
isn't
if
he?
Michael Jackson was to touch me, I'd tell everyone in like being proud of it, like not like wanting to sue him and that.
Do you know what?
I'd leave him.
That's hard. That's a hard thing to answer because I don't
There's
think
so
I
many.
don't think I can pick one because I think at different scenarios, like for example, say fucking I've never been to like Ibiza or not, and never been my sort of thing, or I've been too skin to go. But like,
Makes sense,
but like,
yeah.
I'd love to be fucking at a massive fucking festival, like Avicii playing or something. I'd
Yeah.
like to witness that.
I've
But
seen
then-
Avicii.
But then, you know, there's fucking Michael Jackson. Imagine being at a Michael Jackson concert or
Yeah.
something, or Tupac and Biggie, like being in a mad like
Yeah.
basement in New York watching Biggie go off or something. Like there's
Yeah.
so many different scenarios where you could be.
But if you were gonna go to anyone, if someone said to you, "Now listen, there's an artist who's dead there, or like a band of like a person who's died or whatever, and you get to see them for one last time," who was you picking? It would for me have to be Michael Jackson. Like I could not.
Eric Clapton's kid.
What?
Eric Clapton's kid, he was like 3, fell off a balcony and died.
Oh, I don't think he was much of a musician.
Made the noise when he hit the deck though.
in a C minor, would you believe?
He was he was the fastest read. He was the
wasn't a C man. It was see you later.
Hey, he was the fastest reader in the world. You know, he went through 10 stories in 5 seconds.
Nah, I don't know. I think it'd either have to be Queen or Michael Jackson.
Yeah, between two. Yeah, I get it with that. Yeah.
Queen. I watched the Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Lads,
Oh
Have
my
you
God.
seen it? It's
Incredible
heavy.
film.
It's heavy. Yeah.
Queen.
The last 20 minutes of that is the identical like replica of like what happens in like in Live Aid. It's
Yeah.
heavy.
I love the AIDS bit.
Yeah. Sick.
Brilliant.
I wish there was more like sex scenes though, like bumholes getting ruptured and that.
I fucking bet you would, lad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prolapses.
Proper like prolapse everywhere.
Do you know what, right? Do you know what, while we're on celebrity dying?
Go on.
Oh, go. Where have you gone with this?
No.
Bumholes.
We're gonna
What
go,
celebrities have died from bumhole injuries or something?
as far as I'm aware, only Elvis. But,
Didn't you die having a shit?
yeah.
That's heavy. That,
What,
you
I
know.
want to know what actually is the 27 Club.
Oh, okay.
So that's the likes of.
So that's
it's
Amy
people-
Winehouse,
it's
Kurt
people-
Cobain.
yeah.
But I want to know why they
Yeah,
died.
is it a conspiracy?
No,
The
so
old-
it's all different. So Kurt Cobain was 27 and he shot himself in
with
the
a
head.
shotgun, bang.
He never though. I reckon his wife killed him.
Well, yeah, they reckon it was from the insurance, weren't it? But
Yeah.
then there was Amy Winehouse who died from. She was a beviez and then she stopped being a beviez, and that was what was killed her because when she stopped, she started drinking again and it fucked her all.
How old was Avicii?
So- Avicii was 27. Yeah.
He was the
Type
other-
it. Type it into 27 Club.
The
Yeah.
other singer who what was the name of the band he sang? Was it Joy Division? Yeah, Joy
S
Division.
Club 7.
No,
Oh,
Joy-
the mate.
The lead singer from Joy Division, they sang the "Love Will Tear Us Apart Again," and then when he
No,
died,
no.
yeah.
Wait.
No,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
thinking of
Oh,
the-
yeah.
you're thinking of the
I'm
Wombats
thinking
singer
of
Joy
fucking
Division.
Blue. Yeah.
So-
So was, yeah.
So the lead singer Joy Division blew his head off or something. He died when he was 27.
For any of you watchers out there, by the way, the 27 Club is a group of like celebrities who, at the age of 27, either committed suicide or randomly
Vacated
died.
the planet.
Yeah, randomly died. That's what the 27 Club is.
Have you googled it?
Go on, who's on it, by the way? Because I know Amy Winehouse is 100% on it.
100% dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she is.
Should have went to rehab and no.
Right, so we
no,
have a little
no.
gander. See who was 27 when he died.
Go on.
Hold on.
Kurt Cobain.
What rock artist died at 27? Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse,
Jim
Brian
Morrison.
Jones, Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah.
Janis Joplin, Robert Johnson, and Kristen Pfaff.
So they call them to 27 Club.
Because they were all 27 when they died.
Yeah, that's mad.
So Amy Winehouse was on there though.
Yeah.
No, Michael Lara, me Google.
No, it was there,
Yeah, was it?
He said
Yeah.
a few. So the biggest ones: Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse,
He blew his head off.
Jim
Didn't he?
Morrison.
What was the club in?
Michael Biscuit.
What was the club in Los Angeles, right, where they all used to go? It wasn't like
Troubadour.
What?
The Troubadour.
No. It was one that it was Johnny Depp owned after it got like it was so famous, and then it started to lose its license because so much shit used to go on in there, and then Johnny Depp took over it, and then it went bigger, and then lost its
Pop
thing.
World.
Nah, type in Johnny Depp Club.
In LA?
Yeah, it was in LA. When you say the name, it'll come to me. I can't remember at the minute though, but it was a massive club. There's a documentary on it, and
The
it was
Viper
like
Room?
the Viper Room. Yeah, the Viper Room.
What happened in it?
Is that Dodgeball, the Vipers?
Yeah. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Remember Dodgeball now?
Great
Yeah,
film.
heavy film.
Great
that,
film.
yeah.
What happened in the Viper Rooms then? Like, why did they lose
No,
licenses?
I don't think any. I think
That's so
I think
anticlimactic.
I think there was celebrities who died in there from overdoses or like something happened in terms of overdoses, but it wasn't like something that happened there. It was a famous club that everyone used to go to.
Yeah,
like,
and especially in the
celebrities
90s. I
worked
mean,
there at the bar.
I know celebrities are all massive cocaine addicts now, but
Yeah.
back in the 90s when cocaine was still not
Yeah.
new, but it was still a bit
It
more
was still
taboo.
frowned upon.
But
frowned upon.
but even further back, like I remember watching a documentary with Fleetwood Mac, and Mick Fleetwood was like I sat down with me fucking financial advisor one day, and he said from like fucking the late 60s to like fucking late 70s, he said I'd spent $3.2 million on cocaine.
Really? Yeah. Have you seen the
That's Mick
documentary
Fleetwood
on?
in the 70s.
What's the name of the band? And they made a film about it. Not Black Sabbath.
That's Ozzy Osbourne, isn't it?
Oh yeah, what's the name? But Ozzy Osbourne was in it. Oh fuck, what's the name?
Black Sabbath.
No, not Black Sabbath.
I'll have a look.
Google it, cause yeah.
Google. I thought he was only in Black Sabbath and then Ozzy on his own.
Yeah, he was.
And then he was
but
on MTV.
He was, but he was, but there was
He's
a name.
fucked, innit he?
There was a name. It was called The Dirt.
Did you hear about Ozzy Osbourne as well? Like, you know the way he's fucked in the head, innit?
Yeah, he's gone.
Apparently, it's been like scientifically proven. He's got like a fucking like a genetic default or something where the effect of drugs and alcohol don't hit him as much as like the average human. So like this science has proved that if any other human on this planet consumed the amount of drugs and alcohol he has, would be dead a long time ago.
Have you
His
seen the
body
video
just
where
don't,
he's
like,
coming out?
understands it.
Have you seen the video where he's coming out that room and he's going, "Shine,
You
new
drank
with
my
dreams." And he
beer.
goes, "No one drank your beers." He goes, "Hello."
She goes, "It was you. You're a beer monster." He's like,
Google a day for me because it'll tell me
Dirt.
the band. It'll tell me the band.
Let me say Google Dare for me.
No, the date. The
Oh.
date.
The Dare.
The dirt. Like dirty web. Yeah. Who's it about? It'll tell
Motley
you.
Crue.
The Motley Crue.
Motley
Yeah.
Crue.
The Motley Crue. So on the documentary with the Motley Crue, obviously Ozzy Osbourne was in it, and they were like, there was a part where they were in a hotel, and like it got to the point where Ozzy Osbourne was sniffing up ants, like on the side of like the beach. Yeah, like sniffing ants.
Or something on
It was a
stage.
bat.
And there was
He
one.
reckons he doesn't even know it was real.
Yeah, whatever, lads, whatever. When you watch the film, have you ever watched it to date?
No.
So it's, do you know what's got in it? Do you know the fella from Misfits, the little weirdo who could like turn back time?
Yeah. I like
He's
him
in
as
it.
an actor.
Yeah,
you know.
he's
Simon
boss.
from
Yeah,
Misfits.
he's belter. He's
I
boss.
like him as an actor.
He's in that as one of the band members. And there's a point in the film, I can't remember what one of the names is, but he was like smashing the heroin's head in, like, and he had an overdose in his house. And ambulance come pick him up. He was like nearly declared dead and whatever. He got out of hospital, and as soon as he got out of hospital, he fucking shot back up again. So like,
Yeah,
it gets to
that
the
was
point where
heavy,
it's like, yeah, all right, you've wished your whole life to be like this mega famous
You're just a
superstar, but
smackhead
like,
now.
but what? Like, what are you getting out of it? Like doing shit like that, do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But at the same time as well, like if none of us can even fathom what they're going through because we've never experienced that level of fame, and like
It must be hard, yeah.
you're so like disjointed from society as a normal
Yeah.
person. Like you can't even like go to shop anymore because you get bombarded with people. So
Yeah.
you're in this little bubble, and like you hear loads of people saying like when they've done like Paul Smith said it on a podcast. He said they'd done the biggest show of his life, and he was on fucking cloud nine. And when he went home that night, he was like contemplating suicide and shit. Like his head was battered. He was like, I was in the darkest place in my life. It was just rock bottom, from the highest level to rock bottom. So
they must need the drugs to keep themselves.
That's what I'm
at
saying.
that point.
It's a coping mechanism for people at that stage, you know.
But this is the thing with me though. Like, if I
Right,
got,
can I just stop you there quick?
Go on.
The biggest death that got to me, and it's not
Go
even
on.
a real death, lad, is fucking Bradley Cooper in Star is Born. Oh my God, I've never cried so much in my life. Lad, I've never cried so much in my life. I swear, I've sobbed.
Lad, listen,
Marley and me for me, lad.
lads, Marley and me.
Oh no, what's the Japanese one called?
Maui and me. Sorry.
Katsu and me. No, yo,
I can't do photos of it.
Marley for lunch.
Wait, what was we talking about before Marley? Mate, what was we talking about when I was talking about
The
that?
heroin and the out on the big high.
Nah,
and
but after that.
Sorry, that was
Marley and
me.
me.
No,
Nah.
I said Bradley Cooper. Sorry.
Oh,
That's my
I forgot
fault.
what I was gonna
Sorry,
say.
lad.
Nah,
That's
it's
my
alright. I've had a few
Um,
else, so I'm gonna forget it anyway.
Just
But
think.
whatever we were talking about then,
Because
I
he
had
hung
something.
himself in his garage, and I just give me flashbacks to me.
Is that what he done? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
So
Mate.
emotional. Lad,
Lad,
it's a good
it's a
movie,
sad
you know.
film, you know.
It's a
It
good-
is a sad film.
Some good songs in it.
Some great songs in it, lad.
Give us a
I
good.
left it deep in, watches I dive in. That one, Rami.
I
is that-
reach the ground.
Lad,
I know,
listen,
you're
lad.
hanging from the fucking rafters. That's why you can't reach the
I'll
ground.
never
You're gonna go
hang
round your neck.
like this girl.
I
Sorry.
feel like that got about your dad very quick then, you know.
Yeah.
I think that got to be that bit
Do you know
close
what
to home.
It's easy, lad,
Do you know-
yeah.
And listen, right, I might be tapped in the head here, but like where my half fella strung himself, right? We lived in a boozer, we lived above the boozer, and it was like at the stairs. So we were, so the
So
boozer
people
was,
couldn't even get a car because your dad
Yeah,
was swinging
yeah,
in front of
just
it.
Couldn't be arsed changing the kegs.
What's happened to the lines? Is it blocked? Yeah, rope round it. No, so the flat we lived in was on first floor. So ground floor was pub, first floor was the house, and then our stairs up to the second floor where the bedrooms were went up, and back on itself.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a fucking, a wraparound stair kind of thing. So he strung himself from that.
Posh, you
Them,
lad.
them spindles. It was on Kenny, it weren't posh. He strung himself from them spindles there, it's like swinging, so you'd have to come down, and you'd see him. Like, I always think, if you're seeing him, would you like, have you ever seen the videos where the people jump down the stairs and swing on a beanbag or something? Like, would just grab me half and swing on him. Just imagine.
I love you, Daddy.
I love you, Daddy.
Like, have you ever walked the park and see a pit bull swinging on a swing under the tree like that?
Oh, hey,
Was that you biting on his balls?
Yeah. Kobayashi!
there was some woman fucking hell by ours the other week. Me dad come in and told me where we like walk the dogs in that. Literally just off one of the paths on like a Sunday afternoon or something. Apparently some woman just got being found hanging in the trees.
Sure of
Yeah.
dead, yeah.
Well, I'm assuming.
Fuck
so.
off, heavy that.
We're fucking like
Living in Weston, nah.
that it must be, you know.
Yeah, the wisdom whispers like
Must be.
yeah.
I'm trying to think what other celebrity deaths or even like fictional deaths that have upset me.
Oh, have you ever watched what's it? Oh, fucking hell.
Ambi's ma.
No, nah, fuck Bambi's not a slag. The other one, the one where they're all around motorbikes. Sons of Anarchy.
I've never seen it.
Oh, have you ever watched
I
it?
was like wild. Hog then.
Anyone who's watching Otis, get on me. Heavy death.
That's my son.
Oh, he's broke me heart.
Do you know what death got to me, lad? Modern Warfare 3, Soap McTavish.
Ah, when he got the throwing knife.
Oh, lad, no, he fell off a building and a bit of scaffolding
Who got
went
the
through.
throwing knife to the head then? That Modern Warfare 2.
Ghost gets shot in the head.
Oh, someone got throwing knife in the head. Yeah, comment on that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
get
But
on
no,
that,
yeah,
Comment
he, like,
below.
because he was the character you were.
Fictional death. That's a good one. That
He was
actually
the
went in
character
and
you were being in the first
Oh,
Modern
lad.
Warfare, then Modern
Oh.
Warfare 2, you were with him, and then Modern Warfare 3, he was the boy you had, and then he died.
You won't get this one because you've not watched them, lad. But fucking.
No, is this a Harry Potter thing? Don't say a word about it because I've actually been watching
They're on
them.
Netflix now, aren't they?
I've actually
have
been
you watched
watching them.
Have you watched them?
I've watched them all.
You know
I've-
what one I'm saying? The
I've
one who dies
seen-
in number 7.
Ah, lad, shut up, lad. Don't
Yeah,
even
go,
say a
go,
word.
go, lad,
No,
lad,
no, just don't say nothing. Just don't say, lad, just don't say nothing, lad.
Look away.
Don't, like, listen.
Heavy
Please
death.
don't. Because,
You're into it,
like,
are you?
listen. Yeah,
He slagged me up for
Years.
years, this cunt.
for years, he'd be like, oh, lad, I read the Harry Potter word, and I was going, lad, you're a little gimp, you like all that. And then I watched the first one last week, and it was like, do, and I was going, oh, mate, look, lad, I'm like four films in.
You like
It's
it?
heavy.
Told you,
Don't
lad.
know mad fact. You know the flying car in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
It was built in our factory.
Was it? Yeah.
Fuck off.
Gary on the fucking rims and that, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Gary with the wampum
Nah,
willows
it
in
was
there.
like fucking 90. No, it was
Look at
built.
me with references.
I said it was built in our place. I mean, like in 1960s. I went alive.
Nah, he was. You're
Why
right,
did you not make it to Pacific for the film?
No, it's official. That was a car.
Sick,
There's a
that.
line of cars, and I've just used an old car for.
Did it actually fly though?
Yeah.
Where do we stand on flying cars?
It's got like Red Bull in its fucking fuel.
How long are we going towards flying cars, Gary lad? You work in a factory, come on.
You work with vehicles.
Yeah.
We're with vehicles. We're not.
Nah, not even close.
We can't even build a normal car at the minute.
I'm just thinking, though, right? Here's me thought. See, this is what keeps me up at night, and it's not conspiracy theories. It's just
AI.
well, no, apart from that, which isn't a conspiracy. It's going to happen very soon. We're going to die. But
Hey.
what keeps me up at night is like I always think like what's next? Because like 100 years ago, they couldn't. Imagine showing
There's
somebody.
cowboys and Indians and that,
Like imagine showing somebody from 100 years ago a
An
Tesla.
iPhone.
No, but listen,
Yeah.
but it's not. What the fuck? Because Nikola Tesla has already fucking developed all this
Yeah, but that
technology.
we're not 100
and then
years
he
ago,
died.
though. Yeah, but
I
that
know
we-
what you're saying, but like there was a fella years and years
Nikola
ago, right?
Tesla.
Yeah, but no, before Nikola Tesla, there was another fella, right, who doesn't get any of the accolades at all, right? I can't even think of his name. I'll have to find it. There was a
Tommy
fella.
Edo.
Yeah, there was a fella who developed an electrified car back when Henry Ford was developing the first ever cars, right? And he developed this electrified car with this battery, and it worked fantastic. And he got fucking shunned, and he died. Like, he got killed off and all that, I think. And he was gone, and this battery-powered thing just disappeared. Never ever worked because Henry Ford didn't agree with it.
Yeah,
And now-
they knew the combustion vehicles were more
So
profitable.
And now we're in fucking 2023, and we're only just starting to fucking see electrified cars fucking blow up. Do you know what I mean? Not-
Even in the
not on
terms
fire,
of
but-
Nikola Tesla, though, when he worked with Thomas Edison, it was Thomas Edison that shunned him from his work and made him, regardless of, like, in terms of scientific fucking whatever he was doing, it was Thomas Edison that shunned him out because Thomas Edison obviously invented the fucking light bulb, you know what I mean?
So
and
he
then,
says.
And then Tesla come out with this absolutely new, brand new concept that would have overridden this patent for what he had.
Yeah.
And it was him that shunned him out of making what he was. And
Mad,
he
innit?
ended up dying fucking feeding pigeons in his fucking room, you know what I mean? No, he actually did those, yeah.
It's crazy how if just a few things had happened ever so slightly differently over the course of history, for better or for worse, we'd be living such a completely different life.
like, imagine
And that's
your-
what
nah.
I think about now, because I'm thinking like,
Imagine your dad bladed in the toilet.
why would he be wanking into the toilet? Is he having a shit in the store? Do you know what? Why would
No,
he?
but
Hey,
that goose
how
before he
violating
shagged
that,
your
though.
man, it was in the bog, and then he goosed your man the one after, it would have been you.
Or imagine
I
like,
had
Thanks, Bob.
I'd miss you lot.
or imagine it was like on your.
I never have existed, so you would never have even known. But I
Imagine it was
appreciate
on-
the sentiment.
You know that.
Imagine it was on your Mars muzzy or something. You know what I mean? Instead, but
Snid. Snidden
Imagine
Danny
your
on
man
your
getting
muzzy.
cheesy muzzy, lad.
Snidden on Danny.
Fucking Dan Schnitt.
Snid.
It's just mad. Like I just think like if you showed somebody from 100 years ago like a fucking
An iPhone.
like
imagine how much
an
you
iPhone or like
Yeah.
or like an air fryer or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like
What? I can cook my chicken like this? What the hell?
Where's he from?
I don't know.
Why is he Turkish?
He's from somewhere.
Like I just think like
Scheißen! Holy schnitzel, listen! You know what I mean? And it don't.
like I just think now like I look at that roadcaster there and I'm like, wow, what the fuck's that?
Yeah.
No, you look at the roadcast and you think,
Well, yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
there, but-
You look at the roadcast and
It's
you
because
whatever.
we take everything for granted.
You
Now.
do,
You don't
yeah.
appreciate things like it's and that's the thing. Like even just me as a 32-year-old looking at me kids, like when I was a kid, I didn't have like Wi-Fi wasn't a thing.
I know.
Like we
yeah.
had dial-up internet and like you couldn't phone someone and be on the internet at the same time. So like even just in our small lifetime, things have changed. And my
Yeah.
kids take everything for granted. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
getting home from school and getting on MSN because you can speak to your mates.
Never
You're sick,
MSN.
like, MSN like that ASL girl and all that. You're talking to the only bird you know lives next door, but you're like yeah, ASL girl and all that.
My name
But
was
now our
like Bobby
kids-
with a cool face and like all my mates' names.
And then a
next to
bird's
it.
name with a love heart in the end and all that. And then when
That's
she
what
left,
it
it was my
was.
mate.
I only had
sorry.
2 mates and no bird.
I'm
Just Danny, James,
Yeah, it's
maybe
just
Cameron.
Danny and then a little cool emoji and then Call of Duty. And then a
Yeah,
little Call of
I
Duty.
was a little gimpy. I didn't have friends.
Did you have
I
a
just-
MySpace?
Lad, I didn't have friends. I just had kill
No,
streaks. lad.
do you know what I did have though? I had a Pixo.
Whoa,
Remember
hey.
Pixo?
Have
I
Habbo
had my own
Hotel.
website, bro.
Boys, I am not even messing, right?
You still got one?
Nah, do you know the way we say this building's haunted?
Yeah.
Right?
What?
Listen, for everyone watching, I'm sorry to stop the conversation, right? We have had a theory for fucking months that the building that this studio in is haunted as fuck.
Have you just said something?
I swear to...
Oh, I heard that.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard
What is
that.
it?
Lad, I just did dum something, and I swear to God, then as I looked up,
Coming out from those, lad?
no, never. Something white has just went past the window, lad. I swear down.
I've got no access. I've got curtains in my way.
Oh, that
I
was
didn't-
scatty, you
Could
know.
just be someone doing a podcast in here on a different.
Well, and they better not be.
I didn't see nothing white like,
Yeah,
but
but
I heard that
remember when
noise.
someone said they seen the thing rolling
Yeah,
down
have you
my
seen
head,
a
yeah?
light behind there?
And
We've
it was
heard
on- it's on
footsteps
the
from
video.
around upstairs like 9 o'clock at night when no one else is here.
You dull lad.
We need to do a
How,
ghost
how
hunt
long
in
have we
this
done on this
building.
episode?
30 minutes.
Should we just get off?
Yeah. Sorry, we're going. I apologise. What were you
No,
speaking
it's
about?
I don't know.
Technology, you know, it's gonna change. Like I think like I look at that, right? Like I'm proper like dyslexic when it comes to technology, lad, and I'm illiterate with it. So like I've only got like an iPhone 11, and like it blows my mind how I can just look at it and it's unlocked.
Even 10 years ago, lad, like if you could think of something that
Imagine
you could
someone
got,
said
you
10
could
years
use.
ago, you can unlock your phone by looking at it.
No, but not even that though. You can read a map by GPS and you can watch
Yeah.
videos and you can do
You
this
can
and do
watch
that. Lad,
people
10
getting
years
their
ago,
heads
be like,
blown
what are you
off on a
going
little
on about?
screen.
Like if I like I never would, but if I really wanted to, I could be on a train, order a scran to my house for when I'm home, watch porn whilst on the train and ordering that scran and keep the porn.
Yeah.
It's
Did you see-
Good
crazy.
train journey.
Did you
that,
see
lad.
Yeah.
Lewis Capaldi do
Strange,
that
really?
on his show?
No.
Lad, is how you know you're famous when you can do this, right? So Lewis Capaldi was on a train travelling, say, to London, ordered a Domino's to get delivered at a station, like 2 stations away. The train stopped and waited for the Domino's driver to get on the train to give him his food. And they got
That's
back on the train.
hysterical.
Shut
Do you
up.
know what? Do you know if I ever become like proper famous for like either comedy or just anything like that, and like I'm not asked if I do or I don't, but you know if it ever happens, I'd never abuse it. But that's the sort of shit that I do. I'd be like, look, I've got a scran coming.
Me, Tony TV's lads, what are you going on?
No, I'd be like, look, it's only going to take like 5 minutes. Could we stop the train? Everyone can have pizza, but I just need the scran.
Everyone
Like-
can have pizza, he's ordered one.
Yeah, you just can all have the crust.
You can
Can have
smell
8
me
slices,
fart.
yeah.
Like, it's just like I'd like to.
If you got to a point where you were earning silly money, would you be like overly generous? Would you just do mad?
Yeah,
like,
I would.
Like Salah pulled into a garage, didn't he, and just bought everyone's fuel in the garage and all that. Would you do
Yeah,
acts
yeah.
of kindness like that?
Like if I could do it and not skimp myself all day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all day, lad.
Like, I'm not gonna.
I don't think I give to charity.
No, I was gonna say something, but
Because they keep half of it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm gonna just say something quick. I don't know if it should be in or not, but remember Michael Shields, right? Do you know what
Why do I know
I am gonna say because it's nothing about his family, it's about the players. It's fine.
Why do I know the name? Michael
So
Shields?
Michael Shields was the
He
lad.
was the one in
from-
2005.
Yeah,
and he's
2005
done the
Champions
final.
League final got nicked for like hitting someone with a fucking slab or something. Right?
Yeah.
And he got nicked and he was in a jail over abroad and all that. He grew up around the corner
Yeah.
from me. His family was by ours and all that. So there was all kinds of like fundraising, free Michael, get Michael home and all that, right? Like my ma done a sponsored skydive to raise money for the family to get him
She
home
goes
and all that.
skydiving,
Yeah,
yeah.
before she broke her hip.
Through his tits.
Yeah. She little Nelly's look like fucking 2 dashoons. Exactly. Flappy Bird. Anyway, so my ma like fucking done a parachute skydive to fucking raise money for Michael Shields. And then I remember like a few weeks later, home game, Anfield, all the players come out saying free Michael Gerrard, like that with free Michael t-shirt on the foot. Hang on a minute. All you have to do is give her 1 week's wage and the family got all the funds they need to release him.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing a t-shirt?
Yeah.
What are you wearing a t-shirt for? Stop being a dickhead.
That's one thing that pisses me off. That's like,
Imagine having that much dough, you could give up a full fucking month's wages.
lad,
Because I'd do it.
that
I really would.
one thing that pisses me off, right, with like celebrities and charity, right, is, and I know this has been said before, I'm not coming up with anything groundbreaking here, but it's like even the stuff with like Ukraine, and it's like, oh, we're gonna put Ukraine flags all over buildings. It's like, why?
You've saved the war, you've stopped it.
All
Well
that's
done.
doing is when the Russians are flying over, they're gonna look all on flags and go, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Bomb that.
Bomb that,
Like,
lad.
it's like fucking.
They made fucking blue and yellow squashies or whatever, didn't these?
Lad, it's fucking nuts, lad. Like I'm all for charity, but pointless gestures piss me off.
Right, I'm going to give you a quick story about how much I'm for charity, right? In primary school, we used to get these NSPCC forms, right? and you'd have to do like a
Is
sponsorship.
that don't speak to shit? Like
That's the
if your
kid.
ma's abused.
Yeah.
It's grass.
Yeah. So we used to get these NSPCC forms and be like, right, we're going to do like a sponsored fucking bag pack in the quickie or whatever by a school, right? Go round, get all your family members to sponsor you, and then we'll raise all the money. I used to go round the whole estate by my ma's, like knocking on door to door, getting dough, sponsor me, I'm in school, blah, 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 blah. I'd get about 70 brick and just never bring it to school. It was like 70 quid for me.
And do you know what I done when I was a kid, right? When I lived by my nan's, oddly enough, I'd done this with the kid that bit me.
Charlie bit me!
Yeah, so we were only about fucking, must have been about 7 or 8, we were kids. And we went round one day with little buckets, knocking on all the doors on my nan's estate, saying that we were collecting for charities. And every time someone asked us what one, we would tell them something else.
Yeah.
And we ended up with about fucking 20 quid each in little buckets.
And do you know what as well though about charities? I hate it when you ever watch like fucking Catchphrase, Celebrity Edition and all that, and they play for charities, and you get all these famous people and they're like, what charity are you playing for? And you get one that's like, oh, kids with cancer, and you're like, oh, that's
You've
really
only
nice.
won 700 quid.
I know, but you're like, oh, that's a nice charity, and then you've got some helmet going, fellow Bayage, his feds blew down in the wind, so we're raising money together. You're like, shut up, lad.
So you
Stop
made that
chatting
up,
shit.
you're
Yeah.
just skim for a
Yeah,
bit and you're
you're on your fucking arse, lad. You're brassic. You just need to pay your limo round.
It does me head in that though, because like, see these millionaire fucking celebrities going on these shows, and they're getting a round of applause because this millionaire's just won like 650 quid for a charity for kids that are getting battered, and it's like, that's not helping, you know.
It's like Jeff
making it
Bezos
worse.
can cure world hunger like 3 times over.
Yeah.
Look, I said, do you know what does me head in with that as well?
There's
It's
one
like, it's only 2 left, yeah. Do you want it, guys?
No, you haven't.
Like, time for another wave from one of the sponsors. Bobby, what sponsor?
Well, you'd be very surprised to hear that it's actually Technicals.
Technicals?
That's it, Technicals.
It's mad that on the telly, flying.
Yeah.
What do Technicals do, lad? What do they provide us
Well,
with?
Technicals is an active gym and sports wear. So, you know, whether you're into your walking your mountains, you know, sitting in your Mars, walking around town buying clothes, you know.
Like me, walking the chippy.
There you go. And Gary's got Technicals on, which he wears to go to chippy in all the time. Every day.
Twice a day sometimes.
Yeah.
The thing is with it though, right? Thing is with it, one thing I hate, do you know when you go on camping or you know you're going to be like, say you go on like a little hike or something, and you fucking hell, and you go and you're trying to buy clothes that are like, you know, according to what you're doing.
Yeah, contemporary.
And you know, very contemporary, and you can't, because you go into fucking Decathlon or go outdoors and you come out dressing like you're on a fucking geography school trip. Technicals managed to keep it looking stylish, but it's still practical as well.
Aesthetically pleasing.
It is
Aesthetically pleasing. The contemporary. Some of them are red. They're great.
Possibilities are endless.
You want a blue top? They've got them as well.
www.technicalsbrand.com. What's the code, Danny? Woo?
It's happening 20.
It's happening 20.
What else you got to say it? Get your 20% off. Technicalsbrand.com. Get on them. You see people all the time debating this on like Twitter and that. And say Jeff Bezos could cure world hunger so many times over. And then you always get these little tickets like, well, he earned the money, why should he do it? You say, well, because someone's got to. Yeah. We can't all do it. We can't all start chipping in dough because none of us have fucking got any. There's this fella there who's worth more money than 99% of people who ever have existed, do exist, and will exist will ever see.
What?
And he just does nothing with it.
Gives it 10 a lot.
But he can't.
Innit?
But he can't. Do you know what I was thinking, right? I was thinking this. Sorry, let me just eat this. It's terrible.
Power through the Monster Munch.
Not professional, in the slightest. ASMR. Oh, yeah. No. Do you reckon, right, if you just, like, slid into Jeff Bezos' DMs and was like, Saturn kid, on my arse, yeah, can I have 10 grand? Do you reckon he'd ever just gone, do you know what, cheeky guns I will?
Bezos even got Instagram. I wonder if, like, Jeff Bezos has got an Instagram.
Because you know the way, like, I know celebrities have, like, a fucking PR team and a social media team and they get so many messages, but every now and then I reckon they just stumble across something and go, do you know what?
But it's like Adele, though. Adele was saying now in an interview that she's only ever put one proper post on Instagram herself because it's run by other people.
Oh, when it was the one of her dressed as a fucking Jamaican. What was that?
I knew that anyway, though. I knew that because she said it in an interview. I didn't know it was the one where she was at the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
But she said that was one, like, where she put a picture of herself and, like, Or she done a live, or she done something, and
It was that one. Remember the story?
and she
yeah?
was like, I can't put nothing up again.
Talking about Jamaican lads, still, I've probably told you this before. There used to be a restaurant on Lark Lane, a Caribbean restaurant. Restaurant. Siri, can you welcome me to Westwell? And it was called Jamaican Me Hungry, lad. It was the best fucking name ever. Best
What's
name
a
for a
Jamaican
restaurant.
cuisine?
It's Caribbean raggers, isn't it?
It's like weed.
Yeah, but like
stuff.
that's a sauce in it, like reggae sauce.
No.
In it all.
Raggers is a chain of Caribbean food outlets in Liverpool.
Yeah, but what's like a
jerk,
cuisine?
chicken, yams, all that kind of gear.
Is jerk chicken Jamaican?
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
Caribbean, yeah. I think it's
Where you
Jamaican,
flip the thing and play with the thing.
No, that's
Oh, pounded jam.
pounded yam.
Pounded
Pounded.
jam.
Yeah, pounded jam. I think that's what that.
Panda jam.
I think
that's
Is
just
that a lyric from a Sean Paul song?
Isn't that where you play with the
pounded
thing?
jam.
Play with the thing and dip with the thing.
Shut up, bud.
I think
Eat
it's like a.
yeah.
I think it's like a. I think yam's like a potato, but it's more dense. So then
Yeah.
when you make the mash, it's thicker.
Yeah.
So you sort of you
Just the
pick it
root-
up.
What are
and
you
you,
dipping it in
It's
though?
a root
is it
vegetable.
a goosey?
I think so.
Is it's a goosey or something? It's called. I could have gotten that wrong. No, if I've gotten that wrong, I apologise. But I won't do the accents anymore. We'll probably nip that in the
He's
bud.
flying though, Levi Roots though. I met
Lad,
Levi Roots.
he
Have you
smashed
seen
it.
his Dragon's Den pitch?
Yeah.
Lad,
Fucking
Yeah.
boss.
He
I
innit?
met
smashed
him in
it.
the food festival in Sefton Park. It was sick, you know.
Was he a
Yeah,
cool guy?
he was a
I
cool
can
guy.
imagine it to be
Yeah.
a proper.
I was,
cool
you know,
guy.
when I met him as well, because I used to work in Hazard on Smithdown, right? And I used to work in counters. So I had rotisserie, pizzas, deli, fish stand, and whaled food. That's what I'd look after. I had to wear a little trilby hat. It was gay. Anyway, and
Did you wear a trilby?
yeah. And I used to get in. Like, it's what I used to do, right? I got sacked anyway. I used to get in at like 6 in the morning and I'd have to set up all the counters. So I'd go make like a 16-inch meat feast pizza and then scan it down for 10p with the whoopsie gun and put it in the fridge and buy it after work for 10p. I used to do stuff like that all the time. And we had 5-litre bottles of reggae sauce in the rotisserie bit. So I just to take them all the time. So that's when I seen Levi Roots, I was like, oh, lad, I robbed 5-litre bottles of your sauce, you know, lad. He was like, taking money out of my pocket there, lad. I was like,
Please don't do
"Ah,
that.
whatever, lad, innit?
My reggae sauce.
Imagine you went into character and started singing
What
it to you.
mean you robbing my reggae sauce?
Danny just said 3 times, I stopped doing the accent and he's still
What do you
going.
mean, lad? I'm just singing how we
No,
sang
you
it.
can sing the song,
No,
but when
no.
you just speak it in that dialect, I think we should probably just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to offend anyone. Because last time we were in the paper.
Be a
Do you know
con.
what, right? Let's reflect on that for a minute.
Yeah.
Should we?
Because I feel like we haven't brought it up enough. How weird was it, right? That we were in the paper and people were fuming about it.
Oh, boss lie.
Oh, I didn't even make a noise.
I've got headphones on, couldn't they?
Like, why was that in the paper?
I know.
That
Right.
fucking stinks, you horrible
Listen,
little
right,
bastard.
when
Oh
you
my god!
when you actually break that incident
Oh.
down and dissect it, right, it was just so fucking poisonous, the whole thing. Like, as you said, people just jump on the bandwagon and all
Yeah,
that. But the
yeah.
whole the thing is, it was the first time he was on any other media source straight after the show, so people were like eyes on him and that, because he's quite a controversial
It's
character.
bound to get attention.
Yeah, it was a controversial character, and that's one of the reasons why we got him on. We thought it'll be fucking. I reckon we just release it one day and it'll be hilarious.
Have we still got it?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube, hidden. Just re-release it. And the thing is, right, he was just like an excitable puppy. And I think the stuff that kind of got people's backs up straight away was he was telling a lot of secrets about the show.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, you sign an NDA or something for the show. So I think when, because he said in the messages that Channel 4 were like on his brief, getting on his case, going
Yeah.
like, you know. So I think he's blew up into this stardom phase of his
Yeah.
life. He's got excited, got carried away. Channel 4 were then fuming. And then obviously, because we're just fucking knobheads and we just chat shit, and I was talking about it, fella digging him up and all that. Like,
Which was hilarious,
it
by
was
the way.
hilarious.
Stand by that.
Yeah. I'd dig him up. I didn't realise though he was still warm, because when I watched the video back, he'd only been dead quite a few weeks, but whatever.
That's what pissed me off with that whole situation though, was it was the fact that she made this video, which don't get me wrong, if she wants to respond to what got said on the podcast, she's well within her right to.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was
Did
like
it make you feel uncomfortable at any point?
when she started pretending to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like it was literally like, I do not want to give these a platform. I don't even want to give them the attention they're after. So here's a 25-minute video of me intermittently crying every 5 minutes, which I've sat down, edited, Right? It wasn't even raw footage.
Yeah,
she edited it.
Yeah, exactly. And do you reckon she had like what do you call it, teleprompters or whatever, and it's just gone like line.
She had a mask, they were clipboard like that, flicking the pages.
Like that. Cry!
Like for her to go on and have made that video, which was 25 minutes long, she's got to have had notes.
And it don't.
Do you know what I mean? She's got to have had notes.
Well, let's not address.
I just don't want to give her the attention she's after. It's 5 minutes of me crying. It's nah. But yeah, it was just a mad situation. It was mad that it ended up in the paper, I thought. Like, even that, like, I was like, wow, what the fuck?
Multiple papers and magazines, weren't it?
Oh, and then there was all articles online that just jumped on it as well. And it, like that's another thing that does me head in, lad, is like you see now, like it used to be like, to write an article, you had to be like a journalist, and then now all you need to be is some dickhead with a laptop, lad, and they write these articles, and it's not even just about that one about us. You see it all the time. Like, someone will get accused of something, whether it's true or fucking not, and then before you know it, there's hundreds of thousands of articles about it.
But this is the thing, right? So they were saying, and it weren't just there, it was other people going, these don't deserve a platform, these should be cancelled, these shouldn't say what they're saying and all that, right? We've got a camera in our face, we've got a microphone in our mouth. Yeah, we're expressing what we're expressing and people don't agree with it. What about all these journalists who write damning articles about people and chat absolute shit, but they're getting paid for it in a full-time fucking employment? Like,
at least I'm doing it for free.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Why is what we're doing any worse than what fucking they're doing?
It's not, lad, but it's because it's because people like the illusion of power upon themselves. So it, like, they know that those journalists are going out and doing that, but if they complain about these big journalists, these big papers that have got all this backing, nothing's going to happen. But if they complain about people who are sort of on the same level as they are, then there's a good chance they can take them people down, and that's what they want. Yeah. They don't want to actually, they don't even care if they're right. They don't even care if what they're saying is even accurate. They just want the feeling of, I took that down. It's the illusion of power.
And when they've got that emotion, they don't even realise, like, it's fucking eye for an eye or whatever the saying is, because, like, they were going, use it out of order, use a fucking bang out of order, do you know what? It's going to be funny when one of your fucking half-fellas die or something. I'm like, hang on a minute.
The same shit.
You've just said the exact same thing. You're now making fun of saying that it's going to be calmer when one of our half-fellas die. And that's when you had the response saying it's funny that because Bobby and Gary's fucking half-fellas are dead.
Yeah.
Stop milking it. Like,
innit?
But the thing is, sorry, Bob.
You're like us.
The thing, like I said, you're coming back with just stuff that we've said. Like, how are you any better than us now?
Exactly, yeah.
And at least we delivered it better.
Yeah.
Ours was well funnier.
Yeah.
I reckon we get them on the podcast. We hash it out once and for all.
Imagine, lad.
Batter them.
Yeah. Like that lesbianist.
It was nuts, lad. Wait, I'm one of them at the skinhead. Yeah.
Sure, back in the leggy events. Right, shut up, Sonny.
Right.
What's happening, people?
Hello, common scum.
Yes.
Do you like watching our content on YouTube
For free?
Well, don't.
Scruffy cunts.
Let me tell you why. Because we are over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/What's Happening Pod.
Do you think it's called Patreon because they patronise people? Because that's the way you sound.
Back to the common scum. If you're wondering what's on the Patreon,
Tell us, Dan.
shitloads.
Wow.
Shitloads.
There's early access to all of the public episodes like this one, so any episode that gets released on YouTube. if you're thinking,
We're keeping
And your
that in.
ass falls out when you can't wait till Thursday because it's too far away.
That's what I mean. If you're thinking, the new episode of the What's Happening podcast isn't out till Thursday. What day is it? It's only Tuesday. You get early access to all of the public episodes, so you get it 2 days earlier.
Ooh.
Not only that,
What else did you get?
Patreon exclusive episodes, which is episodes of the podcast that are only released on Patreon, and that is a lot more personalised to the viewer. We take in fan submissions like stories, questions. We read them out live on the podcast. And there is going to be monthly specials. We're not skint anymore, so we can actually afford to do it. We've just recorded some fucking brilliant ones. There's loads more to come. If you're not on the Patreon, you're missing out. Get on it.
Get over there. And if you're already on the Patreon, thank you.
We love you.
Yeah, you've already fed our egos, and now you're partially feeding my kids. So my kids love you.
Do you want Daddy's kids to die? No.
Well, there's 4 of them, so I don't mind losing a couple. So
Patreon.com/What's Happening Pod. See us over there.
£4 a month.
Bye.
So, we've got a surprise for you. I come up with a little idea earlier on today, and what I wanted to do, for any of you who watch the episodes but aren't on Patreon,
You scruffy cunts.
I wanted to give you a little taste there on what you're missing. So, what we do on our Patreon episodes, we like to tailor it around the people who are subscribed to the Patreon. So what we do is every week or every other week when we record them, we'll ask for... We'll set the topic and we post on Patreon and we're like, if you've got any stories from your past or it happened to one of your mates or someone you know and it relates to this topic, DM us and we'll read it out on the Patreon exclusive episode of the podcast. But this week, we're doing it for the public. So, if you want to see more of this, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/what's happening pod. The first story is from a regular submitter. And they say, keep me anonymous.
They said it.
They call me hot stepper, murderer.
It says, me again. There's a question at the end of this story. It says, my mate does not think before she speaks. It's not in a not asked way. It's like she literally says something and your mouth drops while staring at her, wishing the floor would just open up and take her. You and the person who here there with you. I read that really weirdly then. Brief examples. She told a couple sat next to us that the man falling about the pub was harmless. Turns round, the fella has one arm. She didn't even know until I pointed it out. This other time, at Bandcamp in brackets, very good reference. She shouted for us to slow down, walking her. She only had little legs. Turned round, 2 people in wheelchairs with, you guessed it, little legs. It says, no, she isn't being horrible or making jokes at anyone's expense. She's the most kind-hearted person you'll meet. She just doesn't think before she speaks.
She's a cunt.
Yeah, it sounds like she's taking the piss out of the disabled.
Horrible.
It says, so question for Gary and Danny. And then it says in brackets, Bobby, you're like my mate, so I can't ask you.
Thank you.
Go fuck yourself.
Nah, fuck
I'm
them.
only joking.
Yeah, fuck them.
It says, is there anything during your stand-up moments or writing where you've thought, nah, that's too far, I can't use it? I've not seen any times where you've hesitated or tried to read the room before during the set. Thanks, boys. And then it says, P.S. Good seeing you mixing up with peasants on Saturday night, Danny. Oh, shit! I seen it in the pub. I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
And someone walked past me in the pub and they kept looking and I was sort of looking and we just like let on and then it was like So if that was you, lovely to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever written anything where you've thought like, it's a bit too far?
I've had, so,
Maybe.
a couple of times I used to word rape in my set, right? And it wasn't talking about anyone getting raped or anything. I used to have a reference about me bear. That was horrible, I heard that. Did you fart then?
Oh, me fault.
I thought I had a little squawk. Right, I'm not adverse to a finger in the ass. I like me bird finger in my ass, right? I like it. It's
That's
nice.
fair.
It feels good.
It does.
Touch me poo shoot, make me come. And and she was like, no, nothing in your ass. It's fucking disgusting. I'll find something else. So which she found a makeup brush and she just stuck it right in. No warning, no spit, no lube. Right up, stem to bristle, massive. Took it in. Violated me, felt me spleen burst and everything, like I was disgusted. And that's a true story. So I just like crawled to the bathroom and then I said, and then I had to get a rape shower. I said, have you ever seen in a movie where like someone's being raped and there's a shower scene and just lying there letting the water hit them on the head like that? That was the joke. And more often than not, the word rape would just turn rooms off and I felt dead bad. So I started to avoid it, but then a couple of times when I'd be at a gig and the people weren't feeling me and they weren't liking it, and I just thought, I'm going to make you feel dead awkward, I'd pull it right back out again and just lean into it and just piss people off. So that's the only really time where it's maybe gone too far because I've used a trigger word.
Yeah.
I've had a massive complaint about my whole set.
I've had that a few times.
This is probably the time where I overstepped the line a little bit. So, done my set. Didn't really do anything terrible. It was just me normal jokes about me kids and stuff, right? And I got this. Do you know what, right? Do you want to read the fucking...
I'd like you to.
I want to read it out. So, done a gig down in a place called Clown, right? Down by Chesterfield.
That's an actual place?
Yeah. It was an old converted church. Very weird layout. Bar here when you walk in. 2 levels, so floor, 3 steps up to another level. 3 steps up to another level had like 2 like little glass sort of balcony kind of fucking fences or whatever you want to call it, barriers. Dead dark. All the audience was sat up there, but they had the microphone down on the bottom and you couldn't really see people. It was just a weird layout. It was set up wrong. It was terrible. And I was the opening act. And the MC was fucking shit, dog shit. He plays like fucking musical soundtracks off his iPad, and it was just painful. So I went up and delivered my set, and it was shit. Didn't get a good reaction. I had like 2 people laughing, but that was it. It was terrible. So the next day, the promoter messaged me and was like, "You weren't there." And he was like, "Listen, I've had sorry about last night." I was like, "It's one of them nights, innit? I don't always smash every gig like I'm human. Fucking some gigs are bomb." He's like, "No.
What's
Well,
that like? I'm only messing.
And he was like, "Oh, no, but like you were specifically pointed out." I went, "All right then, go ahead, what's happened?" He went, "I've had a complaint about you." He went, "Well, the venue has." And I went, "All right, sound." He went,
The venue itself?
"Yeah." He went, "Do you want to share it with you?" He went, "But don't say nothing." I went, "Share it with me." He went straight on the gram law.
Yeah, of course.
So the email goes, "Hi, Heather. On the majority, tonight was great. The first actor was horrendous. As a survivor of child abuse and having an autistic son, not to mention being a lesbian, his jokes were not jokes, they were inappropriate and vulgar. He clearly couldn't read a room as not one person laughed."
Did you know she was a lesbian?
Well, no. Referring to his 5-year-old son as a prick at least 6 times in the first 4 minutes was disgusting.
He is, though.
Exactly. Then to bring up all the stuff made me feel sick. I wanted to walk out, but it would have been rude. He is so lucky that the guy in the brown trench coat, orange jumpsuit, disabled guy, and half the lady acts were there to rescue the night. So every other act on the bill.
Yeah. What about the other half of the lady acts? I don't know which ones were shit, no?
Exactly, yeah. Not sure I want to come to your nights anymore, and I'm so glad I didn't blind book them for the cricket club. Such a letdown that one truly awful act can ruin such a great night. The pub is great, but you may want to look at other options for a comedy night as that let you down. Right. So
I agree.
I'll give you an insight. I'll give you an insight into my material. So, as a survivor of child abuse, because I was calling my kid a prick, then having an autistic son, because I said I had an 8-year-old at the time, so I've got an 8-year-old autistic son. I went, he's dead literal. Like, I got out the shower the other day and he was like, "Oh, Dad, you need to wear one of Mummy's bras." All I mentioned about autism was the fact he was autistic and the fact he said I had tits, right? I did call Lennon a prick, because he's a prick. And the lesbian bit was me fat leg joke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke, yeah. So, that was her comment, and that was her wanting to play the victim. So, I didn't step the line that night, because I was just delivering normal material. The week later, I spoke about this on stage. So, I read this email out. So, my first line, this is where the crowd said I overstepped the line.
But you're missing out on the Patreon.
Yeah. Sign up for Patreon, guys.
So that's the only time I've overstepped the mark, I think. Have you got any? I said that on Hot Water stage.
Yeah, I mean, a few.
My favourite one of yours where it was early days. Can I say it? Or no?
Yeah, we can cut it if needs be.
It was Grove Beer Garden. Chewy in the hair.
Oh, that's my favourite joke of all time. What's the best way of getting chewing gum out your hair? Get cancer.
But he got the crowd involved. He was like, got a question for you. You know the way Danny's like, Danny. Got a question for you. He's going to put it to the crowd. Going to put it to the audience. Right. What's the best way to get chewy out of your hair? You go first a bit like that. Me.
Everyone's like, hot water, cut it out.
Cut it out. Me, use ice cubes, freeze it. Someone said, Coca-Cola. And Danny went, all wrong. Cancer.
Few of them didn't like it.
Yeah,
Few of them didn't like it.
I'm sure you did the Cot Def one as well, didn't you?
Yeah,
What's
yeah, that
12?
That wasn't even like my job. I just
Read
heard
it, yeah.
that somewhere.
Like,
and
what's
it
12
was-
inches and makes a woman scream in the morning? Cot Def.
And like I'd seen it like on like Twitter or something stupid, and like I just started comedy. I didn't know how to write or anything like that, and I just wanted to say stuff that like I thought would make people laugh, and so like I was quite short sighted, so I was like, well, if it makes me laugh, it'll make other people laugh.
I think
I
that's
just
the
go on
biggest learning
stage.
curve in comedy, innit?
Yeah, I used to go on stage and just say the most horrific shit I could think of. And don't get me wrong, a lot of times the gig go really well. Like you'd get an audience that was up for it and that was into it. But then sometimes people would really not like it, like at all.
Yeah, and it's weird, innit? Because, as you said, some people found it funny, but I think it's weird with comedy and people getting offended because deep down, it's one of them things you shouldn't laugh at. Like that clip we put up a few weeks back about that gig I done, and everyone's like, oh, Bobby Lee, and all that. And there's a few people going, that's not funny. And other people commenting going, like, you laugh, but you shouldn't laugh. And they weren't pinpointing that was the funny bit. It was about
It's
laughing.
it's a topic that you shouldn't maybe laugh at. But
We've all laughed, like, when you see, like, adverts on the telly and it's all, like, raise money for these kids and they're all dying and you have a little chuckle sometimes. Because sometimes it's just funny.
we're going to go on to another story.
Want me to read one?
Let's see how many more we've got. We've got 2 left. Go on, you can pick one.
Who shall I pick? Shall I pick C or D?
D.
D. Right.
Yeah.
C is only a short one. So
Okay.
D. Yes, let me just run through and see if you want to be a nominee.
Oh, yeah, so by the way, for anybody, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier on, the theme for the Patreons this week was to give us, like I asked them to tell us, because I was like, I said, we've told all of yous our, like, mad or embarrassing stories that happened back in the day in school. We want to know yours or like, something that happened to, like, one of your mates in school or college or that sort of stuff. So, Gary, the floor is yours.
Right, so we've got a guy. I'm going to say his name, and it doesn't say anonymous, but if it does, fuck yeah. Dale!
Oh, we know Dale.
We know Dale. Dale is the...
Oh, Dale.
Hello, Dale. Dale is a big fan, long-time listener, full-time Patreon, full-time illiterate fucking cunt.
Yeah, Dale.
Can't spell. I love him.
I love you to bits, lad, but...
He types with his knuckles.
Yeah, he types with his elbows, lad.
He's poor. Yes, now, back again. I spell better for use. And how we spell use is Y-O-U-S-E. Now, you is singular and plural, so it's I will spell for you, not use. So you've got that one wrong.
Good start, Dale.
Good start. Then bracket, Gary, you ranga. And you've put Gary 2 R's. It's 1 R. If you've got me on Instagram.
Come on, Dale.
Come on. Oh, sorry, Dale. I love you, really. Anyway, he's back again. He's gone. Remember one time in chemistry, I spilled a bottle of ethanol, on the floor like a sausage, and the kid sat next to me decided to see what would happen if we lit it. Of course, it lights up and starts spreading out because obviously it's liquid and can't put it out. Tried stomping it in and stuff, so eventually decides to get his coat and try and put it out using that, smacking the fire. I mean, it worked, like, but the back of his coat melted. That's actually a funny story. Lad, I love shit like that, you know, in school. There's so many funny stories in school.
They used to
like
put
in
the Bunsen
science.
burner flames on dead eye and go behind them and
You know,
shit like that.
So
It was
we used to
amazing.
do, so Cardleanan, remember the science lab, and like they had the big wooden stools with the hole in the middle where you could grab it.
Yeah.
You know the way the Bunsen burners used to get, like, you used to have the big, like, fucking stand where you'd have like a little grip and put your little fucking test tubes and that on it. When lads would be on the chair.
For a test tube,
yeah. So when the lads were on the chair, we just got that big stand that was like dead thin metal bar and just stick it up the hole in the middle of the chair up people's arse with that. Up your jacksy. The best one is we did a test in science with, like, high frequencies, you know, like dog whistles where, like, it gives you a headache and all that. One of the lads at the back of the class, like, we done the test for like 10 minutes on and off, saying, can you hear this? Can you can't hear this? And, like, we had this, like, meter that read the fucking sound waves and, like, showed us that there was a noise in the room without anyone realising. One of the lads, when we'd finished and moved on to something else, just turned it on for the whole lesson, and people were, like, crying at the end of the lesson, like migraines and everything, because you just had this fucking dog whistle on for an hour. Just making people's ears bleed.
Right, we've got one more.
Go on.
Got one more story.
From the Sea Dog.
And then we're going to call it an evening.
An evening.
Because we need to get back. We arrived at the studio fashionably late this evening, let's just say.
And the ghost wants us out.
Yeah, and apparently we're not alone. Right, so... Right, here we go. We have, he said, not a random story from school, but a random thing that happened today in my town of Kidderminster. Okay. It's bad that we've got people who are watching Kidderminster, you know.
Love that. Listen, get more mates on, because we've got a very big Scouse fan base, which we love, but we want to
broaden our horizons.
We want to delve into different communities.
We want Kidderminster to be the second Liverpool. He says a guy jumped out of a van with a chainsaw.
What?
And proceeded to just chainsaw a massive tree down, then jumped back in the vehicle, drove off for no reason. Picture of fallen tree can be provided. I'm going to say, please provide
Picture of said tree.
said picture of said tree. Yeah.
And you've messaged him back.
I've messaged him back. When he says it's that, boom, stick it on the screen there. Just for proof. And then we've got one more.
Let me just go, tree! So I remember for...
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. It says here, apologies, it's long. Never apologise for that, sir. He says, keep me
Danny's bird loves it.
anonymous. Anonymous. Says, what's happening, lads? Got a bit of story here. It's not my story, but it's one of the boys, but I thought I'd share anyways. One night, me and my mate were in his bird's house, and her ma was away on holiday, so they thought they'd have a few bevies throughout the evening, and ended up getting steaming. One thing that, we read this one last week.
Did we?
Yeah, one thing yeah. So if you are on the Patreon, this is what you're missing. It says one thing led to another. And they've been, one thing led to another, they started shagging in the kitchen. Around the 5-minute mark, she started screaming, ran off upstairs and started acting all weird. Did you hear that? Doors opening and closing in here all the time. This is horrible. This story doesn't way out of here, you know. It says, so they started shagging in the kitchen. 5 minutes goes by. Bravo on the 5-minute mark, by the way, sir. She starts screaming, runs upstairs, starts acting all scatty. So he goes up after her to see what's wrong, and she's told him the Ring doorbell was on charge in the kitchen and it was flashing. He doesn't have one, so he doesn't know what that means. So she explains to him that when it's flashing, it means someone's watching, and she said the only other person who can view that camera is her mum. Long story short, her ma just watched her being plated all over the kitchen counter. Safe to say, they split up shortly after. The podcast boss, lads. Keep it up. Smashing it.
Yes, lad.
So thank you very much, Mr. Anonymous.
Question. And I said this on the Patreon. If you were a mother, would you have frigged yourself over the watching it?
Nah, they've been like, ding dong.
Wipe the kitchen counter after it, you scruffy cunt.
Imagine the ma would just like turn the intercom on, just going,
Oh yeah?
fuck me in the ass.
Right, we are going to call that an episode. I apologise if it's a little bit shorter. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but we will check for you. But if it is, I apologise. Is it? Oh no.
Oh, we're all right.
Oh no, we're fine. Right, so thank you very much for watching. This week's one's been a bit mad because we arrived at the studio later, but we will be back on schedule next week as usual with some more new segments for you, refreshing things up. It's going to be marvellous, so stay tuned for that. Tell your mates, tell their mates. Thank you very much for watching. We've been the What's Happening podcast, and we will see you in the next one. Boom.